All right. What's up, YouTube? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get TikTok together. I know I've been live for a minute and a half now. Sorry, y'all. I am running behind. I gotta get TikTok up and running. Just, it's fine. No, don't move it. It's fine the way it is. It's fine. Okay. So tonight we're gonna talk about funding in the sickle cell community or a lack thereof of funding. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. I need to be able to sit this phone and it can't charge. This sucks. This really sucks right now. I am just not together today. Oh, you know what? Let me just use this. Okay. I guess it's. Let me see. I had to learn how to turn it the right way. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my life together. Okay. This is ghetto. Ghetto TV. It's okay. All right. Welcome in, y'all. How about that? Not over the buttons, but how about that? Okay, there we go. That works. That works. Oh, let me close this door. I want to make sure y'all can see that. Alrighty. Welcome in TikTok. What's up, YouTube? I am running behind, so please forgive me. Okay? But it's Sickle Cell Sunday. Sickle Cell Sunday. Sickle Cell Sunday. Hey. Okay. I haven't found a official theme song for Sickle Cell Sunday or any of my, days that I go live. I just come up with it impromptu. So forgive me, please. But I want to talk about funding in the sickle cell community or lack thereof. And the reason why I want to talk about funding is because I saw President Trump's, hate saying that. Anyway, President Trump's speech last night, and I was kind of enlightened a little bit on how much money they have for everyone else, and how much they truly do not and will not fund us for real. They will not acknowledge the sickle cell community in a real way as far as funding. And they give so much money away to different countries and different projects. And what is left for the sickle cell community? What's left for the American people? Nothing. Nothing at all. And that's the major problem that needs to be fixed. Just like Jacob's sickle cell warrior mom, Shannon, said, funding, funding, funding. That's what we need in this sickle cell community. And she was not lying when she said it. She was not lying. You guys have so much money for so much other BS out here, and for so many other diseases. There's so many foundations, giant foundations in the cancer community. But can you name me a giant sickle cell corporation or foundation, not corporation, foundation? Can you name a really, really well-known sickle cell foundation in the world? No. No, you don't. There is none. Because they don't care. They're not going to fund us. And that's the problem. That's the problem right there. President Trump was going over the books last night in his speech, right? And he's just listing off all of these millions and billions of dollars that they have sent to other countries. And what is left? What has been left for us? What has been left? Welcome in, y'all. Thank you for the likes. Like, funding in the sickle cell community is non-existent. We are literally funding ourselves. Most of the foundations that I know of in the sickle cell community have been started by people that are directly affected by the disease. Most of the foundations that I know about let me share the live. But most of the foundations that I know about have been started by people that are directly affected by sickle cell. People are directly affected by sickle cell. That's the only people that's funding the sickle cell community. Funding does not exist in the sickle cell community. Hey, how are you? How are you? Hope you're doing good. Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, so funding, and you came in at a good time. Funding in the sickle cell community is non-existent. I am, and when I tell you it's non-existent, it's non-existent. And it really, really broke and breaks my heart to hear how much money is being sent away from this country while we suffer. We're always, us in our community are always the last to get anything. It's a shame that the only people that care about us and our disease is each other, the people that are affected by it. They're the only people that care. Like, seriously, the only foundations I see in the sickle cell community have been started by people that are either have the disease or their daughter or son has the disease. Like, those are the only foundations. Like, most of them, they've been started by people that are directly affected. So it's like we're the only ones that care. And it's, please excuse me, like it breaks my heart. Like I'm literally listening to our president listing off all of this money that they have for all of these other causes. And because sickle cell is invisible, and because it's a black and quote unquote black and brown disease, even though there are documented Caucasian people with sickle cell, like they want to deem this disease as a black and brown disease, but there's literally white people with sickle cell. What do you mean? And they will not fund us. Like, it's ridiculous. If y'all are not being directly affected by the disease, y'all do not give a crap. And I really want to let one of the warriors come up and tell, she's from Africa, and tell what she's been going through. Hold on one second. Olantura. I'm really battling with my own sickle cell complications past years now. I can't walk. Exactly. So I want you can come up and speak about what you've been going through. In your country. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
And
Good
it's
morning.
all right. And so you can introduce yourself and tell everyone your name and your age, your genotype of sickle cell, and what country you're in.
Um, my name is Olateru Olagbeki Oladunke. I'm 32 years, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm a sickle cell patient.
Okay. What type of what is your genotype?
SS.
Okay. And so I know you reached out to me um wanting to come on the live, and so you finally made it to this live, and I know we're on different time zones, but thank you for being here. I know it's probably really early in the morning for you. So thank you for taking time to come up. Uh, and this is what I am talking about with the funding, because currently she's struggling and is in need of funding to just get the basic things that she needs. And we don't have a worldwide known foundation that someone can call and get help, that has sickle cell. They can call and get help with their medications, get help with getting basic, you know, care products for themselves and getting treatments. Like there's no foundation we can call to get that type of help. Thank you, Life of a Sickle Cell Warrior. Thank you. There's 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 so many big foundations in the cancer community. And I hate to sound like I'm attacking cancer all the time, but I'm just comparing. That's it. I'm comparing their treatment. But anyway, you can tell them what you've been going through and what you deal with.
Yeah, I had avascular necrosis since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I bedridden for months, like 3 months. It was after bedridden they diagnosed I have avascular necrosis.
Right. And
from there, I was advised to do total hip replacement surgery.
right.
So I did it bilateral.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it was
Sorry about that. Thank you, Peter.
It was 3 years after the total hip replacement surgery. I started witnessing infections.
Mm-hmm.
The operation gets infected. So they said they have to remove the implants so that they can treat it with the POP spacer, antibiotic spacer, then and impute another implants. So asked me to go and bring 50 million to do the 2 stages of surgeries.
Right.
And it has not been easy. Family have left me. I don't have parents anymore. I'm an orphan. So I'm just managing myself and dressing the wound twice a week so that I won't get smelling. I won't be giving odor.
Right.
So it hasn't been easy so far.
and, and that I am so sorry that you have been experiencing that. And you guys in Nigeria, uh, right? Because that's where you said you're at, right? Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys don't even have any kind of insurance that is covering any of your operations, right?
No.
Thank you, Pia. Thank you. So you are having to literally come up with this money to have the implants removed. And where, if you cannot even work, if you cannot even get out of the bed, where are you supposed to get this money from? And this is what I'm saying. There is no organization. Who can we reach out to help with this?
I've been reaching out to them. Like they said, they did not help people with millions of naira surgeries. They only help with thousands. And they said I should go and open GoFundMe account. I should look for an international friend to open a GoFundMe account for me so the money can be raised. But I don't have any siblings. I'm the only child of my late mother. So I don't have the experience. I don't know anything about GoFundMe.
Right.
So
Right. And that I I will
to eat most times is a problem. Even now I'm up for blood transfusion. My PCV is 18%. And that is showing serious anemia.
right. Thanks.
So
Welcome in, Life of a Sickle Cell Warrior.
Thank you so much.
But it somehow we have to help her set up a GoFundMe and share that, because where is she supposed to get the money to help her get these implants removed from this botched surgery? Like, who can we turn to for financial help at the, like, there is no world organization, and millions and millions of people are being affected by this disease worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know my case, right? I think she's experiencing similar issue. One thing is this: Ola, how are you? Fine, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Now,
And
you know my case, right? Sickle Cell podcast. You know, I have been. If you go on my bio, I have a GoFundMe that has been there for roughly God knows how. I think by May this year should be exactly 1 year. The only money that is on that GoFundMe was donated by my cousin, who wanted something to be in there to give him, to allow people to know, yes, the place, the funding has started coming in and it's genuine, which is $160. This has been there for a whole almost 1 year. Now, what she mentioned, I told you the last time, I'm supposed to do the total replacement of the hip, the shoulder, and the knee joints. Now, one of the challenges you face coming from that part of the world is this kind of issue. Now, sickle cell is actually underfunded, if I can use that word, just like what you mentioned, that yes, you're not attacking. It's not that you're attacking cancer. I know, definitely, I speak about it.
right.
When you talk about this, most of the torture we go through, it's almost similar with what cancer gives. It's just that when it comes to lifespan of people with cancer. If it's not properly handled or not detected on time, then it leads to early death without any form of management at all. Now, unlike when it comes to, if you talk of the pains we go through, the severity of our conditions, you will see how you are talking what we are going through. A couple of weeks ago, I love, just like Ola mentioned, as she's been into this. Mine, I didn't have a vascular necrosis before I had I had my deformity. I had septic arthritis of both knee that was not properly managed by a doctor, which was 20 years ago. Now, bedridden for 3 years. I was in the hospital, had bed sores peeled off, my back were all peeled off on the bed for 3 years. That now gave birth to necrosis of the hip joints.
No.
Now, fast forward to now, what it's going to cost, I think they're asking, I think she said that's about 50 million, should be equivalent to about $30,000 if I'm not mistaken. PT. So when this all happened, mine now got more into more arrangements when it comes to all my joints that requires me to now change the whole joints. Now, fast forward to coming to the Philippines, I thought I would be able to get help because my wife is from India. Now my health got worse in coming to this place. I've not been able to use my leg to work for a whole 1 year, 2 months, which we warriors are well. So exactly. I just went to check your page and I have seen how terrible things are for you. So if you understand, coming from this angle, these are the things where I get a little bit emotional when I decided to come up. I didn't want to talk because I've been battling a lot of crisis since pain since a couple of days now, and it's getting me depressed. And but when I saw her condition and what she was saying, I really got moved. You know how it goes when you see your fellow warrior going through some kind of challenges that you feel, yes, no matter how painful mine is, anytime I hear a warrior go through another kind of pain, I feel really terrible. Right. This is me who have lost 2 siblings to the same disease, right? Right. And at 40 something, I'm still struggling with as a father, I can't do much. So I can imagine what she will be going through, being someone who is all alone and right. don't have any form of this thing. So one of the challenges we have, I won't mind. You could actually think of someone who would create a GoFundMe for her. But there's this mentality because of the color of our skin. Anybody who sees I'll tell you, my GoFundMe had over close to 700 people who had viewed it. Not even a 1 cent. I'm not being entitled here, but if it was a case of a cancer, a cat needs to be operated or a dog needs to be fed, you see people raising millions. You understand? So these are the challenges we have, and the way you see the world, right? Sometimes this year, I think it's on my it's pinned on my page. I was asked that I had bone marrow infection, which cannot be handled in the Philippines, that I had to either be in the US or in the UK. And that cannot, without the treatment of the bone marrow infection, I can't even have a replacement of the joints done. And which, similarly to what she is going through, there's tendency that as events unfold, she might still have such issue. Because what causes my bone marrow to be infected is because this whole joint issue has spanned for over 20 years. I've not done anything. So the doctors said I've not treated them for a lot. So now the bone marrows are infected because the necrosis of the joints, of all the joints, not just one joint.
Welcome in, y'all.
Right?
Tap the screen, please.
So it's so on that we have to go through some of these whole challenges as warriors coming from first. Warriors are not regarded globally. That is number one in terms of how we can be taken care of, except those who have that empathy for us. The part of the world we come from, which is Nigeria, is now worse. Right?
Yeah.
That is why you can see, imagine, if you want to tell me that if she is in the UK, definitely she won't even get to this level.
Right. Yeah.
If she's in, definitely she won't get to this level. Right? Thank you very much, Peter. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Now, so it hurts me, right, when I see
thank you, P.
people go through this kind of challenge who are warriors. The last time you even just 2 days ago, I was on a call, on a green app call with a wee warrior. Just because she was coughing, I wasn't comfortable. I told her I can't speak to you for long because this cough could actually come out, can change into crisis.
It's okay, P. Anything you can do helps.
Yes, exactly, because you're using your energy.
Right.
So it's a whole lot if you want to really see how it is. I'm really, really sorry, Ola, the way what you're going through. Yeah. And how I wish there was a way I could help. I'm just trying to process. A lot of us are going through this same necrosis issue, and there is nothing. The only suggestion I came up with for We Warrior the last time was that if it's possible, do we come up as a combined team to write a letter to the government? This is what Sickle Cell Foundation should be doing in Nigeria. Right. But Sickle Cell Foundation in Nigeria are actually out for their own selfish interest. I could beat my chest and say it at any time.
Yeah. This is, and I have the same sentiment for the foundations in the U.S. I mean, there's some out there. There are some out there in the U.S. that are doing things for the warriors here, but it's all people that are directly affected by the disease. You know, otherwise it's pharmaceutical companies using our stories and our faces for their pharmaceutical, to sell their pharmaceuticals and their treatments. Like, that's the only way that they use sickle cell, is to try to push the medication on us and to push treatments on us. But they don't actually fund us or acknowledge us and help us in the processes and things like that. And the only reason why we make it to where we make it is because we have state programs that will pay for our procedures, but they're not going to pay for a cure or anything like that, you know?
Yes.
So, and there is no foundation. I don't know one foundation that I could write to if I was ever in a financial bind and needed medical supplies or desperately needed blood or desperately needed, like, I don't know of any foundations like that. And it's a shame because there are so many cancer foundations out here.
Exactly.
Worldwide cancer foundations. It's
okay. Let me shock you. All right. Have you ever seen any of
Thank you guys for 1 point.
Have you noticed that any of the sickle cell
Thank you. Go ahead.
Maybe interventions, medication, or management arrangement that comes up, it's really, really not affordable. Now, just look at the new gene therapy that was just launched in the UK. It's a million British pounds. So how do you think an average Nigerian, an average Black or African American can be able to afford it?
Yeah, I get you.
Right? How do you think you can be able to affect it? But take the story down to where you have the cancer issues. There is I think the most expensive procedures for cancers are the chemotherapy.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You get it? Yes. Now, the most expensive medication so far now for us, or treatments, plan for sickle cell patients is just the recently released gene therapy. You have the bone marrow. The bone marrow was never accessible even up to date.
Right.
The bone marrow transplant is still damn expensive.
Right.
Despite the fact that there are other interventions. Now, take it down to the most cheapest medications we take, which is hydroxyurea. Hydroxyurea is expensive if you have to compare it to other medications.
Right. And
you understand?
Yeah, exactly. And you are not seeing very much benefit from the hydroxyurea, but they still want you to keep taking it and keep paying for it. And it's like,
yes. So it's a whole lot, right? So Ola, where are you based in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Ondo State. Osun State. Ondo State. Ondo. Why that is so back. Do you people have teaching hospital in Ondo? You should have, yes, right? That will teaching hospital, right? That should be in Akure, right? No, Ondo town. So is it the place you are managing your health?
Welcome in, Kia. Thank you for coming.
Are you managing in the teaching hospital? Or you're welcome. Welcome, Peter. No, I'm managing a federal medical center or what? Hello, excuse my.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm conditioning my hair, but I'm listening to your stories, and I wholeheartedly agree with a lot of what you guys were saying. I just wanted to clear up a few things. Okay, I'm 51 years old, and I have SC type of sickle cell anemia, and I wanted to speak to the hydroxyurea thing and explain to you how even the reason why they want you to continue to take it, even though it does not necessarily reduce a lot of the sickle cell pain that you experience. And the reason for that is because from the studies that they have done, because you have to know that, first of all, hydroxyurea is actually a cancer drug. Okay.
Yeah. And I know all about hydroxyurea.
They found that it helped with like fetal hemoglobin, right?
And it makes that fetal hemoglobin higher.
For people who have SS type of sickle cell, for most of them, not all, but for most of them, it does help to reduce some of the pain crises, right?
Right.
And then, so for when it first came out, they felt like it wasn't great for people who suffered with SC type of sickle cell. But after using it now for decades now, they have, through their studies, have found out that the people who suffer with sickle cell and do not have the hydroxyurea on board, and the people who continue to use the hydroxyurea, their organs and their systems are more safeguarded with that being on board, as opposed to the people who do not take it. So, okay, so let me try to break that down.
I understand. I trust and believe. My doctor explained to me a long time ago.
It gives off this sludge, and this sludge kind of affects all of your systems, right? That's what causes the vascular necrosis. It is
It's
so
doing damage.
because the the blood vessels in your joints get occluded.
Sorry, please, E.T. I want to take you back a little again, please.
Yes.
You say those who are on the hydroxyurea, when they compare the studies, the organ for those who are on it shows significant improvement compared to those who are not on it. Is it?
Oh, okay, let me clarify. It doesn't improve anything, but it helps to keep your organs
right.
healthier longer.
Yeah,
okay,
because
so that's why they keep telling you to stay on it.
I know
because I'm with the genotype SS.
Yes, because the sludge. So not just the so you have the pain crises, right? And then even when you're not having a pain crisis, the sickle cells
are still doing damage,
occluding on top of each other.
Right, they're still doing damage.
It gives off this sludge that kind of gunks up all of your organs in your systems, right? And
it ages your body. It ages your organs.
Kind of helps to fight against that from happening. So it helps your systems to stay healthier longer, right?
Yes.
And so let me give you an example. So you know how they tell you you should get your eyes checked every 6 months?
Yeah.
Because you can go blind, and the reason why that is because
everything.
Because the blood vessels are not giving off the oxygen that your body needs in all its areas. Your eyeballs, okay, because they're not getting the oxygen that they need. Your body tries to figure out, okay, what can I do? What can it do to help get the oxygen that that the eyes really needs? So the body's response to that is to generate new blood vessels, okay, in the back of the eye. But what happens is when the body starts to generate these new blood vessels, these new blood vessels pull the retina. It detaches the retina from the eyeball, and thereby leading to blindness. So if you go to the ophthalmologist, that's the doctor, the surgeon of the eye. They look at the back of the eye, and what they're looking for is if they see any new blood vessels forming. Yes. If they see the new blood vessels forming, they'll tell you I need to go in there and kill these new blood vessels, because these new blood vessels will rip the retina off of the thing and detach, and then you become blind. But if you're on that hydroxyurea and you're taking this hydroxyurea, it will help to keep these systems healthier longer.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So that's why they want you to do that. Now, there is the newer medications that's coming out right now. I'm on, oh God, I have to remember the proper name for it, because
thank you for the
my
follow.
sister calls it the and it's actually called oh God, it's a treatment. You go in every 4 weeks, and you it's given through the IV. And
are you talking about are you talking about Adagvio?
Adagvio, absolutely.
Yeah, I know about Adagvio, but
Please, can you drop the
Thank,
name on the
thank
comment?
you
Let me
for
get
the
the right
roses, guys.
pronunciation down.
I have to look it up for you, and try to get it up here for you. But the Adaccio, is so expensive that they don't have it ready made for you. They wait until they know that you are in the hospital in the treatment care, and then the pharmacy will make the medication for you, and then send it up because it costs. They are charging, these pharmaceutical companies are charging the state $25,000 for every.
Oh, I know those those treatments are expensive, and I myself have seen. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I myself have been on Adacvio. I was on Adacvio infusions for like 2 years, and the it's very expensive. I had to travel out of the state like an hour and a half away to just to get these expensive infusions, and for 2 years, I I can tell you the benefit of it was very minimal, and the thing is, the cost of it, I still have medical debt behind those expensive infusions. And this is it's crazy because my insurance pays for these infusions, and they're expensive as I don't know what, but they will not pay for the bone marrow cure, or they will not pay for the CRISPR cure or anything like that. I don't understand that.
So this is unfortunately, living in the United States of America, because they make it so that it's left up to the states, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, if you live in what they call the red states,
yeah,
your treatment and what the states are willing to provide are very bare bones,
right,
because we are black,
right,
and because these governments, state governments, are still very racist and ignorant. And anytime they choose, they choose the poor people to scrape and save money by not giving them the help that they need, right?
Right.
So and this is one of the reasons why I live in the state of Connecticut. And for you guys that are not in the US, I live an hour and a half north of New York City on the East Coast. Okay? And it's a very wealthy state.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to move, which I want to, like I would love to go and move to California, or even be somewhere warm in the southern part of the country, but I have to worry about the health care that I would receive. And I'm going to give you examples, right? So there's this wonderful doctor she's a doctor of nursing, right? Mm-hmm. And her name is Janice Nelson, and she, along with the black doctor that I attend, the sickle cell program that I attend, her name is Dr. Byrie, and it's two black women that runs this program. But I just want to tell you something to give you an example of how the treatment is different in each state.
Oh, I know.
So this woman, Dr.
Trust me.
Nelson, who's the nurse, the hospital in Texas wanted her to come there and run a part of their sickle cell program, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So she left and moved to Texas to run the program. And she only lasted about 2.5 years. And she came back to Connecticut because she could not watch the suffering that was going on in Texas because most of the doctors that are in charge of the sickle cell programs and stuff are Caucasian people, and they
don't understand.
They believe a lot of this old racist stuff that Black people don't experience pain like white people do.
They conducted a poll.
Then they don't want to medicate you properly.
They did a poll. They literally did a poll that said that doctors believe, I forgot what percentage it was, but there was a percentage of doctors that believe that Black people can withstand pain better than white people, and they can tolerate higher levels of pain better than white people. So therefore they don't feel like we need as much pain medication as the average white person does. And that shows the medical racism that goes on.
That belief stems from the supposed doctors from the 17 and 1800s who at the time didn't even acknowledge people of African descent as human beings. And because they didn't acknowledge us as human beings, they looked at us as animals or beasts of burden, and most of those type of animals can withstand a lot of pain, and and so that's where that comes from. And they would sit and do surgeries and all kinds of medical mistreatments and stuff while they're trying to learn about things. But for it to still be being taught in the United States, in the medical schools and in the nursing schools, they have not gone and fixed any of that stuff in the medical books yet. They have not tried to fix it. One reason, speaking of, like when you were talking about how they don't want to medicate us properly, you know about the addictions, pain addiction.
Yes.
Okay, that happened recently, and they did a blind study out in California because they wanted to figure out why it was mostly affecting white people, right? And why it wasn't being abused in a wide way when it comes to the Black community or other minority communities. So they did a blind medical study in California, which means that any doctor or nurses that participate in this study, they don't have to write down their names or where they work or whatever, and that allows the person to be honest and truthful, right? So they found on the study that so they didn't medicate or give a lot of the opiates to the wealthy people, because most of the wealthy people have money to go and get other things to help them manage their pain and their anxieties and stuff like that. They have means to find other treatments, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so then they looked at um, they mostly gave it to the poorer whites and the working class whites. They said that after that, then it was the Asians that they would medicate, and after that, the Hispanics, and then lastly the blacks. That's why right now, if you ask me what a Xanax looks like, I cannot tell you, even though I suffer from anxiety and ADHD and stuff like that. And it's because the doctors have this belief, and they did this big percentage of, they believed that black people were already prone to drug abuse, and that's why they didn't medicate them or give them these particular opiates, right? And so they just kept giving it mostly to the poor whites or the middle class whites, and that's why it was widely affecting them.
Yeah.
All right, PT. Let me tell you something. All right, look at my legs, right? This is, you see, this has been like this. This is where the surgery for the septic arthritis was 2 years ago. Then I lost. This is how one of my legs are now. You see.
Wait. Is there any way you can make his box a little bigger, Sonny? If you know how, so we can see his knees.
Yes.
Hold on.
If you, yeah, that is better.
Okay, now.
I have a question. Did you have a knee replacement?
No, not yet. That is the stage I am now. The knees and the hips are damaged. This is where the surgery was done and was not properly managed. Then, this is how the legs are now, you see? So that's what I use in walking. So these are all bad now. Like this. Yeah. Just like if you go to our last page, you see where she's having her own necrosis of the hip. Now my own is, this is bad. Now the knees are gone, as well as shoulder are also gone, right? Mm-hmm. Now imagine you coming up with this kind of challenge and somebody depending on medication, right? Yeah. There are terrible pains. This is something I've been going through for 20 years and it's now worsened. That was the reason I came up to when I went to check her profile when she was talking with Sickle Cell podcast. I went to check her profile, and if you go to her page, she's suffering the hip necrosis, and which now after the replacement it failed because of infection. And I will tell you categorically, I can beat my chest. Every replacement done in Nigeria must be infected. No cap. Because the laboratory, the operating rooms are not well equipped as it is overseas.
Yeah. So it's literally dangerous to get
there is no
a surgery
in Nigeria that are not both whether for sickle cell patients or non-sickle cell patients. They've been infections. Yeah. Now she has now spent money to do a replacement surgery. The money that she now sweat out.
Right.
At the same time, the joints got infected. They removed the joints.
And what process do they have?
To treat the infection before they do another replacement, costing her 50 million, which has now put her. Okay, she mentioned in the comment section that she dresses the wound every two weeks, 36,000 naira. 36,000 should be roughly about, if I'm not mistaken, about 20, 30 or $40, right?
Let's keep twice a week, Monday and Friday.
Twice a week, right? Okay. So, that's spending about...
Can I ask a question, you guys? You mentioned that before she can have the next surgery, they need to clear up the infection. So the infection is like what are they doing? Like how is it how is it you're not septic yet? Like, how are they keeping this infection from not getting into your bloodstream?
Right. That's what I was saying the other day. I'm like, you have to
Are
be
you on
very
antibiotics every
careful.
day, or?
Hey, Ola, don't cry. Don't cry. Just don't worry.
That's
It's just be okay.
I promise you, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help you, even if this is me sending you money for food, sending you money for your dressing. I'm gonna do what I have to do
and
to
we're still
try,
going to try to
and
help
get your
set
life
up the
to be
GoFundMe.
better. I'm going to send to my white friends
Right.
your information,
Right.
and I have to connect with you to find out where I can send the money to get you some type of help.
Thank you so much.
Please do not feel abandoned.
Right.
Jehovah God loves you, and
Amen.
it's a blessing for all of us to be able to come together
Right.
and try to think and figure out what resources we have.
Right. Where we
to
can
help
help
one another. And I think right now you need to be at the top of our list in terms of trying to get you as much help as we can possibly find.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
you. Yeah. Shout out to you, Pim. Shout out to you.
You are not alone.
Yeah, you are not alone.
Warriors themselves, it's difficult for you to see who would genuinely empathize with our pain. I have told the people countless times that it's only when you see care, it's only few carers or people around you who have really seen you in that pain crisis that will want to empathize to this level.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I just said.
Sickle Cell podcast, it's a couple of times
literally
we get destabilized just because one of us comes up and is in pain or is tearing up or something like that. Because you will now put yourself in that same situation. So just like she said, Ola, I want you to remain steadfast. Know that your pain is positive. It cannot destroy you. Your pain cannot define you.
Yes.
You've been so. I went to your page. I see how you're struggling. I see how you keep pushing. Right. You have to keep pushing like that.
We're gonna find a way to get you some help. I want you to. I'm going to DM you, and I'm going to give you my phone number. And I want to be able to either on WhatsApp or something to get as much information as I can from you, just so that I can spread it around to as many people as I can. And even if we can't get you the surgeries, we at least somehow are able to get you the money to get you some pain relief medication, something. Right. Because I understand. And I truly understand what you're going through. I have a vascular narcosis in both my hips. I have it in my shoulders right now. My right hip collapsed in on me, and I had infection in my left hip. My first vascular narcosis problem started when I was 11 years old, and I was in a wheelchair until I was 18. They gave me a hip replacement. A year later, the replacement failed. I was having this massive amount of pain in my femur, and I went back to the surgeon, and he cried because he was my pediatric surgeon from the time I was 11, and he said, "I'm sorry, but you need another replacement, but I can't do it for you because you're an adult now. You need to go see an adult surgeon." And at that time, these hip replacements were meant, right? And this was back in 1992. So after I had my kids, around in 2005 or 2006, my right hip collapsed in. And between that and the hip replacement in my left side not being well, I was bedbound for 8 years. I could not find a surgeon willing to do any of the surgery because the unfortunately, a lot of the orthopedic surgeons do not like doing work by after somebody else did work on
Right.
it. They don't like it. So it took me years to find a surgeon, and I had to go out of state. I had to go to New York. And in New York City, I was able to find a doctor that was willing to replace the hip that had collapsed in, but nobody wanted to touch the hip that was already removed. And the only reason why I'm here today is because the hip, I got a fever, right? And this is in 2013. I got a fever. It was like 103 or something. Went to the hospital. They said I was septic. That means you have a bacteria in your bloodstream, and if they don't clear it, you're gonna die, right? So they were able to effectively clean out the bacteria from my bloodstream, but nobody was listening to it. I kept saying to them, can we figure out what caused me to have the bacteria in my blood? But they kept dismissing me. They didn't listen, and they sent me home. And they had me with this palliative care nurse, and she was the one that was providing me with the pain medication. And I kept it wasn't acting like its regular self, and it was unhappy no matter what I did, no matter what position, a background and mental health. She just kept saying, oh, it's because your life is hard and you're it's just stress. It's not. She just kept putting it off. So that a year later, and it read that I had 104 fever. So my husband at the time was like, listen, let me bring you to the hospital. I said, hold on. I don't want to go back to this place because they're not listening. So I knew a hospital. I went there and they were listening to me. They said when I was leaving, when they were rolling me out the room, I said, Doc, can you tell me? Wow. He could see this was without him putting that it wasn't. So it took them a month of bacteria and get it out of my bloodstream, right? Yeah. And while they were doing that, they were doing all these other. They were illuminating my bone structure and stuff. And that's when they came in and they told me, we have to go in to remove this hip replacement, otherwise you're gonna die because it's the cause of they could see off of the scams they were doing that they were not going to be able to replace the replacement. Sitting there for a year that it ate through all of the bones that you screwed the hip replacement to.
Wow.
And the epidemiologist, that's the doctor that helps you fight the bacteria. When I remember when after they did this, my bloodstream a year ago. He went in about an hour or so. He came back and he was like, "Oh, you're a clever girl." It absolutely is the same bacteria. Be here, people with knowledge to teach me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm saying all this to tell you that we are your family, and I with the rest of our sickle cell warriors and the people and
help each other
and help you. So I'm gonna in 2 weeks or so, I'm able to send you what I can send you to here for you. I'm sorry that I don't know anyone there to be able to help you.
It's okay.
Physically help you.
It's okay. And I don't want you to get the whole thing more emotional to get yourself into any form
we
of
love
crisis
you
or challenge. We
Thank
love
you.
You have done one. Are well funded. They are doing a lot of foundations. But when it comes to sickle cell, just like what Lady Lynn mentioned, it's the gas lights. There's a lot of kind of undermining us and also discrimination and so DC, the HDSS, whichever one you want to mention.
So many people are affected.
Close to 40, 50 million people with the genome, and I think it will help some of our audience or people at the FYP coming from the US. If you have the trace and you want to get married to someone who has the trace, are there interventions that they get for them not to have based on the US experience, for them not to have children with the disease?
Yeah, no. I can answer that question for you, because it goes state by state, okay? And then there is no cannot tell you, they don't do it anymore. Way back, this kind of disorder or that kind of disorder that you cannot marry. They
stop them. If people they can get together, warning. There's no nothing. Some people still do not tell them, hey, you need to watch out and make sure that you are not having children with someone with the trait because you have the trait. There is no education, there's no process, there's no nothing. People are out here creating sickle cell babies, and they do, and all it's putting a strain on they want to love, but it's like you are actively putting someone into suffering when you do that. Has so much for on everything. Thank y'all so much for sharing just small pieces of what you guys are going through, and anybody that like no one, we can keep waiting for everyone else to see us and fund us and acknowledge us, but if we don't start acknowledging each other and working with each other and coming up with solutions to help each other, no one is going to come and willingly help us. We have to be united. And when we unite, we can make some great things happen. That's what, at the end of the day, I want to read. It is to let people know that they are not alone. It is to break the stigma. So thank you guys so much for aiding me in this process of awareness and advocacy. I cannot thank you enough for your love, your support, your input, your stories, everything. I'm going to close. Hold on. One, hold on. One. Hold on one.
Any questions or concerns?
Right.
I would also like other numbers and stuff.
I'm good. I'm gonna. We will be back. We will be back with each other. Please follow each other. I'm gonna close at 8:30.
In the angle of your fiancé that you mentioned, okay, or like, I'll reach out to you and I'll try to be on live and send you and share with you. I also bring We Warrior if people session tomorrow on ways we could put things together. And for you, me, it. You see a is the right of the handle stream. For me, I come up every day, and then I think We Warrior come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So we could her having a form of sacrifice. I can see she's a little discomfort now. I can see from her body language. So keep communicating and see ways we could help us. I'm really proud knowing everyone. I'm really proud meeting all of you. May God bless us and keep us alive to celebrate grace to grace and not grace to grace. God bless you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we're gonna have to figure that out because we're all on different time zones and all that. Petey, I can't thank you enough for being here and your input and your willingness to help. Thank you for sharing a little snippet of your story. And Alonso, as Petey said, we're gonna try to get you some help. And I think that we definitely, at the very least, should create the GoFundMe, so that you can at least withdraw from that. And so, thank you for sharing. She can't really go for me being in Nigeria. It has to be someone in the States. To go forward to see how we can go about doing that to get her to help. So we're gonna be in contact with you outside of this live, okay? Guys, so much. My best regards to your husband and the kids. Thank you. I appreciate it. Same to you. Send my love to your wife. Thank you so much for coming up and speaking and sharing. Yeah, Peter, I just saw your message. I'm going to respond to it accordingly. God bless you. Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back next Sunday, Sickle Cell Sunday. Thank you guys so much. I love you, love you, love you. And all right, YouTube. Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you guys so much.